Welcome to Funded, a video series where I highlight a crowdfunded RPG that has been successfully funded and has been promised to make their way onto the Nintendo Switch. Today we are featuring Temtem, a turn-based monster collecting RPG. The upcoming new Pokemon adventure in the form of Sword and Shield has spurred on some hopes and dreams of potential additions, maybe even some changes to the long-running franchise. For many, one pipe dream for the series was to finally take the plunge into the MMO RPG market, and we may finally actually have that here with Temtem. This successfully crowdfunded game has you traversing several islands alongside other real-life players. It only took one day for this project to be 50% funded, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Developer Crema's initial goal was for $50,000, but they crushed that total in about a month after the launch of the campaign. The project ended at almost $574,000 with almost 12,000 backers alone, which averages to about $48 a backer. Temtem is currently slated to be on Steam, as well as other consoles, including the Nintendo Switch. Now let's face it, games like Pokemon are never really about the story and are more about training and collecting pocket monsters. The story just basically skims the surface, but in Temtem, there seems to be more of a focus on a story-driven campaign, so we'll have to keep an eye on this development. Now you may ask, how is Temtem different than Pokemon? Well, first and foremost, there is no offline mode. Temtem is completely online, where you battle against and alongside friends. I'm not entirely sure how this interaction with other live online players will come to fruition, but it is stated on the Kickstarter page that you'll be able to battle, train, and trade with other players. Also, the entirety of the campaign will be able to be played cooperatively with a friend. As we know, what the Nintendo Switch currently does not feature is the most robust online service, but hopefully this process will be silky smooth when it comes to Temtem. In speaking with some of the developers, making an offline mode for Temtem would prove to be difficult, seeing that the game was made entirely to be played online from the beginning of development. This means you'll need to be online in order to play Temtem. There are all sorts of fantastic features when looking at Temtem. Several things come to mind, like decorating your own house and in your own neighborhood and customizing your playable character. And we may even see clubs, which are a form of guilds where players battle over dojos or gyms in hopes of controlling and defending them. If you're familiar with Pokemon's battle system, you'll feel right at home with Temtem. Your Temtem have strengths and weaknesses which are based on their type. Currently, there are 12 types of Temtem, so it's important to strategize beforehand. Tamers can have up to 6 creatures in their squad, but only bring 2 at a time into battle. Knock out or capture the other Temtem in this skill versus skill battle, and you will be victorious. And I say skill versus skill because in Temtem, all random attributes have been removed, including evasion, accuracy, critical hits, and effect rate for status conditions, such as like poison, for example. One concern people might have is Nintendo possibly blocking the sale of Temtem. On the Kickstarter page, Crema addresses this concern by stating that they are already registered with Nintendo as developers, and they've already released a game on the platform. Everything that they've developed has been from scratch, so that means no reused assets. They also stated that there are other games that are heavily inspired by Nintendo titles, such as Brawlout, Wargroove, and Blossom Tales, all which have a happy home in the Nintendo Switch roster. So suffice to say, I think Temtem will be fine. Like with most crowdfunded projects, developers can fall into a trap of sorts, with overpromising and possibly under-delivering. Stress can come from different areas, whether it be trying to hit a release date deadline, implementing achieved stretch goals, or even having to deal with physical goods distribution. Look for Temtem on Steam, where it is set to be released in 2020. Then we can look forward to it being on the Nintendo Switch soon thereafter. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing.